on Tuesday at 7 p.m. All right, so it's been a bit since we played Planescape. Previously, in our story, the heroes here have learned that the Archlich Asarak, the architect of the Soulmonger, has joined forces with the formerly dead Demon Prince Orcus. Somehow, Orcus has found a way to kill gods and has been doing so with alarming speed. One of the most significant of these deaths has been that of the Modron god, Primus. And in the past two episodes, the party had to deal with some of these kind of rogue Modrons that were doing Orcus's bidding. Orcus has been using the Modrons, of course, to try to find his lost wand. Once he has his wand, he will be able to come back and be resurrected to his full power, not have to live as a shadow of what his strength once was. What Asarak's motives in all of this are probably up to conjecture. It's unclear to you why he is doing the work of Orcus, but maybe it has something to do with you stopped him from birthing that death god that he was trying to create in Chult, and so next plan of his was to resurrect an old death god that had long been dormant. So you've all learned that there is someone who knows where this wand resides. Drow, you got that name from a prisoner of Asarak's, Kestad. This prisoner told you that the name of this drow that you need to find is Arehi. He was the last. Both Kestad and Arehi were responsible for hiding the wand, and then they had their memories wiped. But of course, nothing in D&D is permanent, and some other entities, like Asarak, are hunting them down to try to restore their memories. And so Kestad suggested you need to find him and take him out of the picture, or maybe find him and find where the wand is so that you can safeguard it. Otherwise, Asarak is going to get to it. So the plan was that to get to the Vault of the Drow, you would have to travel through the Abyss along the River Styx and get to the Demonwed Pits, which is the realm of Loth in the Drow. So that's quite a tall order, and you racked your brains a little bit. How were you going to do this? Well, you knew the guy that helped you to find the Ring of Winter, Hulister, was the name that came to mind, and so you're heading back. Raimi No, your wizard friend with the animated tower, is delivering you back to Sigil, and this will take a couple of days to bring you back to where you know that there's a portal that'll shoot you up to Sigil at the base of the mountain. And so that's what you're doing. You're trying to head back to Sigil and head back to the place that you knew he hung out was a tavern called the Ubiquitous Wayfarer. He had kind of a creepy crush on the lady that owns the tavern and worked there, and you rascals decided that the information that he had was worth setting her up on this weird date with him, and so that was the last time you saw him. So that's where you're headed. It's worth maybe explaining at the outset of the session here that Klaus has disappeared. This happened not so long ago, and he told you that he was kind of being hunted by this like big construct, and so he left a note saying that he had to leave. That this thing would derail your quest, which is very important. So he implored you not to follow him, to trust him. He can handle himself, and so he is gone. Also, Reggie you have finished the Book of Torm.
Is good.
It's so good.
Best book
Yes,
ever.
and
Yeah.
you have your character now gets a little bonus to your charisma, +2 to your charisma.
You
Um,
know, I feel like I learned a lot. I there's just so much there. I'm ready for a second read through. Um, because you get to the end and you have this new perspective, so you got to go back through and like, okay, how is this going to apply then earlier on? But
yeah, you get some of the deeper meaning on the second read through too. You got to read
yeah,
between the lines, and yes,
I hear if you read it backwards, starting at the back page, it's a totally different story. Syncs up with the Wizard of Oz real nice.
Right, I was gonna say only if you're watching the right
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
picture.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
uh, Jump 302. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that.
Woo!
So you find yourselves back on the streets of Sigil. Um, the clarity of your vision is once again obscured by the smog of the big city, this mix of industry from the foundries of the lower ward, and the sense of food that is being prepared by street vendors from all sorts of different planes. So it's kind of this cosmopolitan mix of languages and styles of dress. And as you are passing by the dwellings and the chalets of the lower ward, you see a two-headed dog from a small yard starts to bark at you with uh, both its mouths. And though he is separated by a black wrought iron gate, you are starting to adjust to being back in this urban setting after what probably amounted to several weeks out on the World Tree, Yggdrasil. So, your destination is clear, and you make your way back to the ubiquitous Wayfarer, back in front of this three-story establishment, which you'll remember is notable for its very large, this wizardly-looking statue that was in the tap room that each day had a riddle puzzle that it would speak, and all sorts of the patrons would gather around and put their brains together to try to solve it. And I don't know exactly. I don't remember. Was it like you got like a free drink or something if you could solve it? But there's some kind of incentive that the people wanted from this. Um, as
I
you
really
are,
want to. I
go ahead.
really want to try out the riddle again. I really do.
Is there a new riddle?
There will be. You haven't entered in just yet. Um, but you're standing outside, and you notice that there's tension in the air. You can't really put your finger on it exactly, but you're noticing that there's a lot of conversation happening between people, and they seem to be eyeing up others, and like you just get the sense that people are talking about one another everywhere that you go. You can't exactly put your finger on what it is, but there's something going on here amongst the people. And even as you're about to go towards the ubiquitous Wayfarer, you see this Fire Ganassi kind of strolls up pretty brazenly towards you and just starts chatting with the three of you. And she says, "Well, what do you think is the meaning of these gods dying? If you think there is such a thing, then you're a fool."
Well, what if I told you I don't need to think there's a reason, but I know the reason?
Oh, and do enlighten us.
Well, I was just asking what if. I don't actually know. I mean,
And
I do know. I do know. I do know. It's is this something we want to tell them, Reggie? What do you think Torm would think?
I think we got to kind of hold off a little bit here.
Yeah.
Play it cool.
I
She
think it means that people need to be nicer to each other.
Yeah, that's it.
she opens her mouth to like respond to you, and then you see this little halfling like does like a somersault, and then he like hops up and does a cartwheel, and he's just like yammering on gibberish, and he says like, "Untouchable, the powers not are. See you don't."
Um, Mr. Planeswalker, do you have any idea what this is all about? You've seen a lot of stuff. I think you're on mute.
Untouchable, the powers not you are. See you don't.
And he's like shaking his head no. He does a couple of jumping jacks. Permanent, and they do not do any longer. And then he
Well, the
does
gods aren't permanent any longer, and this guy is insane.
and he does a couple of
talking
like
backwards.
somersaults.
I can't even do the alphabet backwards, let alone words.
Dino, you feel a couple of hands on your back, and as you turn around, you see this really pale, gaunt, bald man who he's got kind of this tattoo of a skull on in the middle of his forehead, and he's just kind of whispering in your ear, "The gods are dead? Oh, how lucky they must be. Don't you think, friend? As long as it was the true death."
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand. You wish to be dead?
I should be so lucky. But it is not my time yet.
Know the time that you will
don't.
die?
I don't know the time that I'll be put in the dead book, but I hope that I have. When I do, I come into the true death, and I self-actualize as my true dead self.
Remember, Dino, there's a lot of crazy cults around here. Gotta be careful who we talk to.
Okay.
Did I say cults? I meant,
Non-profit organizations.
yes. NPOs.
Some people think I'm a member of a cult, you know?
Well,
I get a lot of that.
they're dead wrong about you, Dino. Shall we go into the...
Yeah, the longer you stay out here, the more like people like are like accosting you with their worldview about what it means that the gods are dying. So yeah, you push past them and get into the front door of the ubiquitous Wayfarer. I suppose you all can't see this, but I'll put up the map of what the layout of this place looks like. But yeah, basically it's a 3-story building, and you all are walking right into the tap room, and it's probably like the equivalent of like lunchtime. There's a lot of people here, and it's quite busy, and you get the sense that this is like the lunch rush. There are all sorts of people sitting in the lower tap room, and then up above you, kind of encapsulating the perimeter of the room, is a balcony. There's seating and things like that up there that looks down into the first floor tap room. The smell of whiskey and food lingers on the air. You hear the sounds of hurried conversations. People just trying to race to finish their meal and then go back to whatever it is that they do during the day for their profession. You take notice of the large granite statue in the middle of the tap room. There's a bunch of cagers there standing around with perplexed looks on their faces. Clearly they're trying to decipher whatever riddle the wizardly monument has for them today. And from behind the bar, you can see that the woman of Hugh Lister's desires, Rayanne Blackholm, and she's rushing about to try to take care of her guests. You can see the stains upon her apron tell the story of a very busy lunch rush. What would you like to do?
I would very much like to nudge my way up to the front and read the riddle.
Okay, so you make your way forward, and being a new participant, suddenly the statue kind of like shudders and like it begins to speak, and there's like a booming voice across the tap room that says, "What is not alive but grows, does not breathe but needs air? What am I?" And then like all these like people that are sitting around like are looking at you, Azad, like hoping that you have a new perspective.
Does not alive but grows, does not breathe but needs air. What am I?
Azad, you're always so good with these.
Noise? No.
Nothing happens.
Ah. I'll have to think about this.
Water? No.
Not alive but grows. Does not breathe but needs air. Oh, a balloon?
Nothing happens.
Oh, come on! That totally fits!
Somebody's like, I already tried that one.
Pat Azad on the back, and I'm gonna walk over to the bar and see if I can get her attention.
Okay.
Just kind of like not trying. I know she's busy, so just kind of like waiting my turn for service to have a little chat.
She sees you and she says, what do you have?
Looking for Hugh Lister.
Hugh Lister?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know
well,
him, right?
you're not going to find him here, Burke.
But
Fire.
he was here, right?
Well, he was. Oh, yeah, I remember you.
Yeah. Yeah, we played a little. Yeah. We were here
Jesus.
before.
We had a lovely time. He was a perfect gentleman. Took a little while for him to warm up.
That's
but
Hugh Lister, you know?
he was surprisingly charming. I never noticed it before.
He treated you right.
He did for the short time that we had together. I don't get many chances to go out on a date, you know. And then,
Yeah.
This seemed all right. I was having a good time. I was on my second glass of wine. He was telling me something about gardening, or, it didn't strike him for having a green thumb. But then, the whole place was in an uproar. The harmonium came running in, and they arrested him on the spot, hauled him away.
Really?
Yeah,
They
they
didn't.
said he knew something about some ring that causes frost or ice or something, and then I don't know. I read it in the broadsheets. It turns out that he's some kind of undercover agent for the Aether.
Really? So is he? Do you think he's locked up still here in town, or do you think they shipped him off somewhere?
I don't know. I presume he might be at the locked up in the prison, and at this moment, Penton, you're nearby, and you hear this conversation happening.
So
Perhaps have some knowledge of this.
I might have some. A middling height human starts making his way over to you. He's probably somewhere in the 25 to 30 range, but his hair is just slicked down to his skull, and his robes of office and his entire demeanor is just pressed in that weird sort of creased line way that says he doesn't move very much as he makes his way over. Hello, I'm Penton. I'm a diviner. I'd like to talk to you for a moment about your friend Hollister. Would you like to talk to me?
Pendant, I feel like I'm being marketed to. Huh?
You know, it's funny that you should say that.
Uh-huh.
I have an amazing offer for you. I would like to take you to meet your friend Alistair. However, in order to take you to meet your friend Alistair, I need to ask you for your word that you are not in league with the Aether.
Alistair or Hewlister?
Hewlister.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. There you go. Yeah, now you're getting it. So,
Yeah, Alistair, like I said. So, now, you and your friends are members of a certain small group who have several outstanding warrants in your names. Are you aware of this fact?
alleged. Alleged. Alleged.
We didn't do any of that stuff.
No. The warrants are not alleged. I have the warrants. What you may or may not have done is the alleged part, and I would be happy to represent you for a small favor, which is allowing me to represent you. Is that agreeable?
Wait a second.
Go ahead.
This seems recursive. Is that what you're getting at? Are we doing a recursive thing? You're going to represent us only if we allow you to represent us, and that's the only way you'll represent us?
Of course.
So how?
Wow. That's
Can
really.
you keep us away from the snail judge?
Ooh.
The real slow one?
I will do my very best to make sure that you are met in a court sympathetic to your plight.
Oh.
And what
And
was
how-
our plight
How
again?
how good is your very best?
My very best is the very best.
It's a good question. It's a good answer as well, you know?
Wow. Can't do
While we're
better
doing
than
this,
very best, no guys.
As while we're doing this, I stop real quick, turn around, and shout fire at the statue.
I would like to
MTMJ
advise
Moondog,
not
thanks for the
shouting fire.
follow.
Hey, thanks.
Huzzah!
As you say fire, you hear a resounding, well done, my son! Go to the bar to collect your free drink.
Don't mind if I do.
Come back on Wednesdays, and it's 2 for 1.
Oh,
Damn.
hey, that's a good marketing tool as well. Have you thought about using the statue to help further your law practice? Maybe you can get them to. By the way,
Unfortunately,
what's your name?
my name is Penton.
Penton.
Penton. Penton de Grasse.
Penton
De Grasse.
de Glace?
De Grasse.
Like Neil Tyson?
Like Neil Tyson. But de Grasse.
Okay.
Also,
DeGrasse.
who's Neil Tyson? No.
It kind of makes sense that he might be well known in Sigil.
But I digress.
But I digress. That's very good. I like. Thank you. Storing that one for later. So, can I represent you?
What? Why? I mean, yeah, you got me a treat. You got us a treat, I think. What? Why would we? Why? I guess. Why do you want to represent us? What are you getting out of it?
You see, you three are a very high-profile case, and I am in need of a high-profile case to further my ambitions. You are an excellent opportunity for me to help you, to help me, to help you.
I think we'd rather keep a low profile, though. You know.
Unfortunately, yelling fire in a crowded institution is not the appropriate method to maintain a low profile. Therefore, I think you need me to help you, to help me, to help you.
He's got me sold. That's the best argument I've heard.
Yeah.
My head is
in months.
spinning.
You're licensed, right?
Of course, I am licensed to assist in the support and registration of whatever it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
So
Checks
we have warrants. I
You
suppose
do.
let's just do this.
Yeah, I'm in. Penton, you seem like a stand-up guy. You clearly want to help us, help you, help us, help you. So I want to
Oh.
help you, help us, help you, help us, help us.
Yes, and I appreciate the help.
Yeah, cool.
Therefore, I would like to offer you to be escorted to see Alistair in the appropriate detention center. While there, you must allow me to say that I am representing you, else you may be detained. We do not wish for you to be detained.
No, one might say we cannot afford to be detained.
One might say that very thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So the other thing here, Penton, that you do need to know is that we do actually have some pretty important business that we need to get to after this. So, I mean, if you lose, the world could end. So, no pressure.
Oh, no pressure at all. I don't know if you've been in Seagull long. However, losing here is also often the loss of one's life or freedom.
I grew up here. I know all about that.
And then you know
Huh? What?
Then you know that I cannot afford to lose for you.
Yeah, it will look very bad on you, too.
I'm sold. Escort us to this detention center, sir. And I slam that free drink that I got.
And as you're kind of talking about leaving, you kind of hear that sound of the bar stools screeching across the floor. And you see over in the corner, there's two harmonium guards that are sitting having lunch, and their table's being surrounded by these four other figures. And one of them just taps one of the harmoniums on the shoulder and then decks him across the face, and he goes toppling to the floor. And these four figures just kind of raise a hand and they say, don't get in the way of decay. And then there's this kind of chaos that is happening across the tap room as people are kind of either trying to flee from the situation or join the situation. There's a big brawl that's happening on the other half of the tap room. And so, what would you like to do?
I will look at Penton for the yay or nay. If we should fight this, in his legal opinion.
Oh, it is very inadvisable to be engaged in combat in which you are not an official representative. However, if you can claim self-defense, you can be relieved of responsibility. I do recommend at least letting one of them appear to take a swing at you before you do the things of which you are reported to have done. My, you have done a lot, haven't you?
Allegedly.
What does that list say? We did one thing.
Yeah,
We didn't even stay long enough to do too much.
it's true.
What does it say we did?
Are you aware of the School of Divination?
Yes.
Are you aware that they can view you from quite a distance if they so choose? Do you wish to go on record as saying you have not done much, as it does seem a bit of a stretch?
What do you mean?
Well-
What kinds of... A lot of things we've done have been lawful.
Doing much is kind of it's
Subjective.
yeah.
That is an excellent point, and one which we will bring up when arguing on your behalf. However, for the moment, duck. No, duck. Well done. By the way, did I mention I am a diviner?
You
Oh,
did mention that. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Well,
Self-defense has now been established. Do feel free to lay about the place if you wish.
oh,
I don't know, because now I'm more curious to see what all these charges are. So let's get to the court and get our sentencing read, or not our sentencing, our charges read, because I'm really curious.
yeah, and we got to get to Hughes.
I'm not so curious.
We do need to get Hulister out of, because I'm sure Hulister didn't do anything that bad.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like you're exiting the ubiquitous Wayfarer, not wanting to get enveloped in that turf war that's happening in there.
Accurate.
No.
So you leave the ubiquitous Wayfarer, and Dino, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 21.
21. Okay, not even an issue, because as soon as you leave the ubiquitous Wayfarer, you notice that there's like this statue of a Triceratops that is like standing right outside near some hedges, and it definitely was not there when you entered the tavern.
A statue of a Triceratops. I wonder if Ooptail had something to do with that. It's very fine work, though.
You're going over and you're checking it out.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it a little bit closer. I'm not
It's-
touching it, though.
You can see its eyes are like shifty, like it's got animated eyes that are looking left and right, and then you just hear like,
Ooh.
"Psst, Dino,
Yes?
Dino did have something to do with it. I had because it's me in here. Dino,
Ooptail?
ah, quiet.
Oh, what? Quiet?
Yeah, we have to be discreet. They're killing gods, Dino. They're killing the gods.
I've heard that, yes.
Yeah.
We're trying to track them down.
The gods, the dead ones. Who are you tracking down?
The ones who are killing.
You know who that is.
Not quite, but we do have a lead.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Do you think you got any room in that backpack of yours, Dino? I need to skip town. I think
How small can you make yourself?
very small.
Okay, I
Okay,
could put you in there if you can make yourself small enough.
okay. Just block me. No. Make sure the coast is clear. Okay. And when you turn around, he's just like a little turtle shell. Like you see a turtle, and he retracts his arms and legs, and he's just a shell. And he's like, "Okay, Dino,
Okay, I
keep
put him
me
in the
safe."
backpack. Put him in the backpack. Oh, he's so cute too.
Hey, Captain Reboot, thanks for the cheer. All right, so you got Oopteo in your backpack, and all of you. I think is it you're heading to the area where the prison is, where Hewlister is locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever
Okay.
Penton takes us. Yeah.
Right this way.
So he would take you to the ladies' ward. This is essentially the area of town where, like, basically all of the government functions could be found here. You'll be passing by clock towers, large column buildings that serve as the courts. You are all familiar with this area. You've been here before. You almost were tied up in legal proceedings that would have lasted months had you not skipped out on the trial, and now it's landed you in this situation with your friend Penton here, who has the warrants for your bail jumping.
And if you will sign right here, you will make me your power of attorney. That means that I will be the attorney in power for you.
Can't we just say it?
Oh yes, you can say it as many times as you want, right after you sign, right here.
I'm not sure.
I'm in. I just grab the pen and I sign my name.
It's a very nice pen.
That was
How
good.
many? How thick is that document?
This top page is only 1 page thick.
Yeah, how many pages after that?
Quite a number.
I think I have to read it first.
You may start reading as soon as you sign right here on the last page.
Yeah, I want to read it first.
There you are.
Okay. I'll get back to you after I've finished this novel.
As you're contemplating reading this stack of papers, up ahead is Petitioner's Square, which is basically the intersection of two of the main roads that goes through the ladies' ward, and something's happening up there because there's a big crowd that has gathered around a gallows, the scaffolding that's been constructed up maybe 15 feet high or so that everyone can get a good look at the poor sap that's having a noose draped over their head and around their neck. It's a Githzerai figure. And he's, the guard behind him is... have we talked about Bariars? They're like kind of like goat centaurs.
I don't think so.
Okay. You would see... This would be a common race here in Sigil. And so one of the guards is that type of creature and is armored and putting the noose around the Githzerai's neck. And then you can see that there's all sorts of a hubbub happening with this crowd, a very diverse looking crowd around the gallows, and they're chanting things that fix to their various different viewpoints. It seems that some people are like in favor of this execution going down, and then others are either have like a murky feeling about it or some kind of philosophical objection to this happening. And then beyond the gallows, on the opposite side of the square from you, you can see the prison, which is basically a penitentiary that has, watchtowers that encapsulate the square perimeter of the main prison, and its black stone walls probably rise at least 20 feet tall. And you can see that there's like devices affixed to the watchtowers that would look in to the courtyards. And so, yeah, the whole square here is just very tense. You can see harmonium guards are patrolling around these different groups of people to like almost serve as a human barrier to keep the warring tribes from getting into each other's business.
I will ask Penton if he knows anything about what's going on today.
Oh, yes. There have been a number of hangings issued based on relations to the Aether and other aggressive factions within Sigil. Unfortunately, not all were wise enough to take me on as their representative, as you have. I would recommend staying uninvolved as we move through the crowd. However, if necessary, you may wish to present yourself as supportive of whatever crowd we happen to be in.
Oh, so like
Being two-faced, is that what you're saying?
Two faces would not be enough for this particular situation.
My.
Half a dozen? Maybe a dozen?
That would be advisable. However, if possible, do not engage.
Wow. So don't engage at all, even if the person up there is being hung unjust.
That is not possible given the instability of our system.
Wow,
see,
you really believe in the system.
As you're talking about the fate of the sap up there on the scaffold, you can see the Barrier guard has completed some of his duties, and he kind of addresses the crowd and says, "Today we witness the death of Tempest, leader, factol of the Aethar, orchestrator of the assassination of several gods, including Manzikorian, god of the Illithid, Bwim, the para-elemental god of ooze, Apollo, god of sun, and so on. Sir, you now have the right to speak your last words. And then you can see the Githzerai kind of light up, and he starts looking at the sky. We, the Aethar, have completed task our. Long we have said, gods, that thee are frauds. Powerful frauds, but frauds nonetheless. Delivered well we have proof unto you. Death has been served to these gods, known the Aethar truth die for thee to be. And then the crowd again gets kind of riled up amidst their various feelings about this.
Well, he's definitely messed in the head. Maybe we let this one go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, let's go.
The scaffold drops and he hangs. And as that happens, you can feel that the Harmonium are probably having they look like they're having a tough time, like keeping these warring factions from each other. And your destination is to hit the prison.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Pinton, can you explain this part of the this contract about your fee? I can't understand it. It's a very complicated formula you got in there.
Oh yes, it's very simple. For every hour that you remain unimprisoned, I receive 1 year's worth of wages. It is quite a small cost for your freedom.
I thought you
Wait, what?
said the only wage was going to be us agreeing to let you represent us.
Oh yes, this is not a wage. This is a retainer.
You realize I can't afford that.
Don't worry, I will help you earn money.
Yeah, I'm not signing it.
I'm all about it. I respect the hell out of that. That's pretty great.
So you're signing some paperwork?
I've already signed. I
Yeah,
signed
okay.
the moment he put paper in front of my face.
I'm still reading it.
It just goes on and on. It's like if someone had the magical ability to write very quickly and a mind that was just a complete morass. Like, you think you've got to be like, oh, okay, well, he's trying to rip us off. Oh, no, wait, no, he's giving us our money back. Oh, but then he's going to do this instead. Oh, but it's okay, this will happen. And it just layers upon layers upon layers.
Quite the onion of a contract.
It is. It is. It's like an ogre, really.
So you make it to the gates of the prison, and you're waved through to kind of the I guess the administration desk where you'd have to check in and sign in and things like that. And there is a half elf male, young, maybe 25. Oh, what is this? We've got a subscription coming in from Captain Reboot. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Woo!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! That's awesome. So hey, you'll have to get in the Discord server and get in on a subscriber game. I'll get you in there after the game tonight.
Join the Goblin Horde.
Yes. Sire Lou's entourage is growing.
Ugh, it's awesome.
So you all enter into this administration area, and there's a half elf, rather youthful looking. You peg him at probably maybe 25 or so, and he kind of looks up, you can just see the boredom of his job in his dead eyes as you walk in, and he says, "Are you? Well, how can I help you?"
Penton?
Legal counsel?
Oh, yes. Hello. We are here to visit the accused Alistair. We are 3 supporting representatives.
Say that again.
We are here to visit the accused Alistair.
Okay. Can you spell that for me? He starts like shuffling through some papers.
H.
It's with an H.
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 U.
H.
U.
H. U.
Maybe you should just write it down for him.
Lister. H.U. Lister.
Okay, you write it down for him. He says, "Okay, that's all right."
H. U. A. H.
Yes, it
So
says
there's
here.
there's only one H.
One H.
Says here he's being detained for questioning. Looks like good. It looks like he's just got done with his daily wyvern poisoning. I'm sure he's quite delirious right now. You want to see him? No, you can't. You're gonna have to fill out paperwork. You can't just stroll in here and visit. And he
Boy,
hands
we have the
you a stack of
I
forms.
have paperwork for you, and we start exchanging stacks of paperwork. Like, I got this one, you got that. Oh, you have. This is a very fetching color of fuchsia. My fuchsia is slightly duller. I appreciate this. Who does your paperwork? And bruntun and bruntun and bruntun.
Well, I just updated that last month. That's version 1.2.
That is some fine work.
Yep, it used to be on more of a salmon.
Excellent, excellent. Mine, however, if you see here, filled out in quadruplicate.
Yeah. Well, it looks like everything's in order here. I can shoot this off to the warden and get this processed in probably 6 to 8 days.
Excellent. And during that time, we will be speaking with the prisoner.
Oh no, you can't do that. I mean, this has got to get stamped. If there's no stamp, you can't pass through those doors there.
Well, what if there were a stamp?
There isn't. I'm looking at it. There's no stamp. I gotta
Right, but
send
don't
this to
you-
the big guy.
Don't you have a stamp?
I have all sorts of stamps, but I don't have the correct stamp. All of my stamps are much smaller. I need the big one.
Wow, they are
Reading.
not big on empowerment here, huh?
No, they're not.
Very vertical structure. I don't know.
What's your name again? Sorry, I missed it.
My name is Prince.
Prince. Prince, are you familiar with the concept of servant leadership?
No.
Oh. So I feel like you're being undervalued in your workplace.
I agree.
Yeah, it feels like you are here, right? And you're experiencing life at a certain speed, right? A certain rate. You've got people coming at you. You've got paperwork you've got to deal with. And they're asking you to be proactive on all these things, but all you're trying to do is react to all the stuff that's coming at you. And it feels like those above you aren't really in tune with the amount of work it really takes to make this thing go. And I think that if some of your superiors understood what servant leadership meant, they'd be down here with you, understanding what that means and helping to exactly what my friend Azad here said, empower you to do your job and do it right.
Yeah. That. Well, what are you saying exactly?
Well,
Well,
go ahead, Azad. Go ahead.
What I think he's trying to get at is why don't you take that piece of paper up to your boss's office and let him know if he ain't got the time to put the stamp on it now, he should empower you to be able to stamp it. Because that's what a good servant leader would do. But don't say servant leader to him, because that might have a negative connotation to him who is a non-servant leader.
One of you can make a persuasion check at advantage.
With that fresh charisma, Reggie?
Why don't you let me do that? I think I can
Let you
pass
do what?
this test.
Because you
Make the persuasion.
What do you?
Well, you were talking.
Dino,
were
you-
Okay. I could join in.
Oh shit. I'll give it a roll here and we'll see. That'll be a 19.
Okay, he's like, okay, I agree with everything that you're saying, but he's a real hard ass, my boss. Why don't you think maybe you can go chat with him?
Well, let me put this. Let me put it this way for you, Prince. What's up, Beza? What's up?
Well, I think, right? If he lets us go talk to him, we can sneak down to the other spot and talk to whoever we need to. So either way, I think we're golden now.
Okay,
He's
cool.
like, hey guys, no, that plan won't work there, guy. Because you got to get through those big doors there, the administration offices. You can go up and talk to the boss if you want.
Sure.
But, you know,
Well,
I mean, I don't even have the keys to that door, so that's just not going to work.
Well, that's fine, Prince. I guess really what I'm getting at is less about you putting your foot down and more about you displaying to your superiors, your direct supervisors, that you are capable, that you can do this. You can take that step, and you don't need to ask permission to make it happen.
Okay. Maybe I'll take you to see him. I mean,
Okay?
is
That would be great.
work?
If you feel like that puts you in a place that takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit, in a place where potentially your supervisors want to see you grow into, where do you want to be in 3 years? Really is the main answer to the question. I mean, yeah, you could take us there, you could take us down to see Hewlister, but which one's going to get you further in your career the way you want to go?
I always thought I'd own a map business. I like maps.
Okay, that's awesome.
We've been a lot of places. We could describe a lot of cool places to you if you
Really?
help us get this last favor done. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever been to the negative energy plane?
Ooh.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No lies.
Oh, come on.
The
Nah.
most obscene 3D map that you would make.
Okay, you know what? I was like going with all this, but then you say that. You guys are just yanking my chain.
What? No, it's a real place, dude.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. There's no
Yeah, a lot
plane
of
of
people
negative
would-
energy. It's ridiculous.
Prince.
We're in Sigil.
Hey, if you were ever there, you'd
Oh, that's
love to you'd pay a lot to have a map to get out of
That's
there.
true. All right,
All
Prince.
right.
How about this? How about you take us to your supervisor? I think that would be awesome. We'll say every nice and supportive thing we can to help them see that you are worth more than they're treating you. In a nice
All
way,
right.
of course. Not in a way that's going to give you trouble.
All right, I'll take you up there, but I'm telling you, he's not a nice guy.
Well, that's fine. We don't need nice. We just need respect.
So, oh boy. We just had Captain Reboot just redeemed the add to a character's backstory item. So we'll see what comes out of this. But in the meantime, you guys all go up like three flights of stairs, and you are presented before a set of double doors. These oak doors with golden handles. There's kind of like this. It's like the type of door that a boss would like put. They construct their office to be like just like a foot bigger than everyone else's to like establish. They're the top dog or whatever. So you get that
His
kind
desk
of
is
vibe.
a little taller.
Yeah.
So it's
Just
a
all
boss
about the
battle
pomp and
door.
Yeah, it's red. Or it's like painted red. These wooden doors, and so this guy like kind of like meekly knocks, And then you just hear like a voice on the other side say, "What is it?" And he says, "Sir, it's Prince. I've got a matter that needs attending to straight away." And he says, yeah, all right, come in. And as you open the door, you see the door's open wide into this big, there's big red carpet, the golden frills around the edge, big, huge desk with all sorts of little tchotchkes and things like that on it. A big liquor cabinet on one side, a library, big chandelier above it all. And behind the desk is, I guess you guys can't see this, but it's a man that looks like a hippo with a monocle. And he says, all right. What, you got visitors, do you? Come on in. Let's chat. What seems to be the problem with you fine folk? You unhappy with the execution I had today?
No, that was fine. We're just here with Prince to give him the moral support he needs to basically ask for some self-empowerment.
You're trying to self-empower my employee here? He's got one job, and that's to sit down there by the desk.
Right, but wouldn't he take a load of work
by the
off
way,
of you?
Prince, you failed at your job. One of your jobs is to keep this riffraff out of my office. And you can see Prince is like...
Okay, so I think we got off on the wrong foot here. Mostly we're just here to support your choice of employee. We find Prince to be exceptional, and he's doing a fantastic job, and wanted you to know that. From a third party, we've had no affiliation with Prince before today, and we're really pleased with the work that he's doing.
All right. Well, if you'd like, he starts like shuffling through some forms. He's like, okay, public satisfaction with our staff form. Mm-hmm. You got satisfaction forms right here. Fill these out. Right. Make sure you circle the number that indicates your level of satisfaction from 1 to 5.
Okay. We'll definitely do that.
If you're going to add any comments, just make sure you keep it to 2 sentences. We got a lot of paperwork. Okay. We don't got time for that third sentence.
Yeah, keep it short.
Right.
Okay. So, what? Yeah. But we have a legal counsel here. Question for you.
Well, actually, it's less of a question and more of a bit of paperwork that may be of interest to you. Would you please take a look at these warrants and this documentation representing the illegal set? And we just wanted to make sure that you would accept these 3 into custody and then pass those over to me, as they do have a significant bounty on them.
Oh.
Yeah, there's that too.
Well, done.
Wait a second.
Stamp.
Excellent.
Wait, what? Right. What just happened?
Wow. That is quite the number that you did on these 3 here.
Well, unfortunately and fortunately, they did sign documentation allowing me to be their legal counsel. You did sign that documentation, did you not?
No, I didn't.
I did. Sure did.
You may wish to sign that documentation before he gets his hands on you.
Well, I was still reading it.
Just sign it.
There's something in here about not guaranteeing your
Do not worry,
success.
your organs will not be harvested until your death.
See, that's fine.
All of this,
I want my organs.
Basically everything in here is dependent on you outliving us, right?
Of course, well as assuring your freedom. Should I fail to succeed in representing you, there is no charge other than the retainer.
Yep. I'll sign it anyway.
Come on, Dino, we got it. I'm terrified of what would happen if you don't.
Well, I might have to discuss that with my
Just do it, Dino! Just do it!
You're not married. Who are you gonna talk to?
I have, you know,
His backpack is talking to him.
you know. What do you think, Oaktail?
I say do it! I want to get out of Sigil before the lady finds me.
Okay. I signed it. Give it back to him.
So, in the meantime, this Prince, he snapped his fingers for Prince to go, summon some escorts to bring you to some cells. And so you're being accompanied. There's there's actually 3 figures, armored figures that come in, and they start like grabbing your weapons. Are you relinquishing your armaments and your things?
Can we ask what's happening here, Penton? Why are they taking our weapons?
Well, you will be taken to the detention cells, which is fortunate because that is where your friend Hollister is located. You should
Hulister! Hulister!
Hulister. You should be able to have a short conversation with your friend Hulister.
Okay, but how we took you? We have to get out of here. Like we
Yes.
Yeah.
Your freedom is assured by this paperwork.
In what turnaround time? What are we looking at for a timeline here, Penton?
You will have ample time for your conversation with your friend Ulister.
I'm not worried about the conversation time. I'm worried about us getting out of here and saving the known universe.
I will take care of that personally.
What are they taking from me?
Whatever weapons that you have.
Oh,
And your possessions.
I mean, they're taking my backpack?
Yes.
No! You can't have my backpack!
Why would they be? They're only taking your weapons, right? Do you have
If you would
weapons
be
in your
more
backpack?
They're like, what do you have in this backpack?
I have my pet!
They open it up and then they pull out the turtle. They're like,
As you will see in the paperwork, all pets, vegetables, fruits, and other perishable items should be relinquished to their legal representative.
they hand you the turtle.
Oh, wait!
And maybe a couple of snacks that Dino had in there.
Those are my Twinkies!
They twinkle.
Okay.
You don't damage that turtle! You're responsible!
And then the warden is so you all have relinquished your things.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So then well, his name is Colonel Leopold Knox III. Begins to so they shackle the 3 of you and they say would you like so we'll take them to their holding cells. Would you like you can come along there, Penton, so that you can have some time with your clients one-on-one.
Of course.
All right.
Oh, and they were curious as to the full list of accusations leveled against them. Should you have time and the manpower to bring the tome down, they would be interested in perusing it.
All right. Done.
Thanks, Mr. Hippo.
And so you all get escorted with the Leopold Knox, the Hippo Man, the GIF, 2 of the guards, and they take along. They've got a dog, one of these 2-headed dogs, not unlike the one that you saw at the beginning of the episode. That was just a pet, but here they use them as guard dogs. And so you're all being escorted to a tower. And as you're going up some spiral staircase, this is gonna be kind of hard. I wanted to like create a visual of this, but essentially So you're going to come up some stairs. It's a circular kind of tower. And you're going to be guided to... There's like a hallway that leads into another circular chamber. And basically this inner chamber pivots such that there's only one entrance into it. And so when this chamber pivots, it goes from being the entrance into the room to the individual cells, like a carousel. I don't know. Are any of you familiar with the old school, like, rotary prison kind of thing? It's like the reverse of a rotary prison. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. But basically, it would keep the guards and the prisoners in a enclosed inner cell that makes it so even if they escape their prison or do some shenanigans, they're stuck in then like another holding area. And so you're all brought to this kind of area, and as the room starts to pivot, one of the guards stays on the outside and is like operating a control panel that operates the inner circle. And so there's a two-headed dog, this guard, and then the GIF. And as the room pivots, it first like locks in and opens up into an empty cell where there's a cot that's laying on the floor and like a bucket. And then he says, well, how about you? And he points at Azon. This seems like a fair spot for you. Huh? Comfy? Cozy?
Okay, I'll step into it.
All right. And then you step into it. Now, even though each of these cells is like kind of blocked by the wall, there are like little viewing windows, like little bars, like open air, just bars that allow one to see into the inner chamber, if that makes sense. So even when the door isn't on your cell, you can still see into the inner chamber. So then it locks into a second empty slot, and then he says, how about you, Turtle Man? Oh, you go in there.
It smells in there.
Of course it's going to smell in there. This is prison, son.
Don't you have a deodorant? Air freshener?
What are these words? Get in there.
Potpourri?
So, Dino, are you going in?
Yeah, I guess I am.
So they push you in. The next one, they push. There's okay. You're the last one.
All right. It's a good time for me to pray and reflect. And if you haven't heard much about our Lord and Savior Torm, I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot about gods these days. I don't need another one, bouncing around in my brain box here. So, in you go.
Right.
In you go.
Here we go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Remember,
And-
respect your employees, and they'll respect you.
Yep. And as you say that, you see a sword kind of like glance off of his shoulder as that guard behind him like attacks him. He's like, "Oh my gosh! Maybe you're right. I've been an asshole. Oh god!" And then he
Servant
turns around,
leadership!
and then the guard like has his sword out, and he's kind of like talking to him somewhat, sadistically, saying, "You mercy killers, you will not put an end to what the Aethar have started. The Doomguard wish to see entropy overwhelm not just Sigil, but the multiverse." And then he's kind of like got his sword like over him, as this gif is like on his back, like pleading, like, "Oh, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want." And the Doom Guard seems to be suggesting that there's a prisoner here that he wants freed.
I'll kind of. I won't necessarily because if he's on his back, I won't dive in. But is the door still open for me to exit my cell into the center?
It started to shift, so you could make like a dive out. It's about to close, but there's a gap.
I would like to do that if I can.
Okay, make a acrobatics check.
Okay. Oh, 8.
So you actually get clipped as you try to do this. Like your torso is getting crunched by the weight of the mechanism that is trying to swivel the door shut, and you will take.
Ouch.
18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oof. Okay.
Penton, what would you like to do?
Excuse me. You hold for a moment there, person. So hold person.
Oh, you're casting a hold person on the Doom Guard?
I'm a Doom Guard.
All right. I believe it's a wisdom save, right?
That sounds correct. And my DC is going to be
It's an
17.
Okay.
18.
So
I like 18 better.
I rolled an 18.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
I
it
was
doesn't seem
I
held.
was going to say another thing that's important, but that's okay.
So you see that he takes notice that you just tried to cast a spell on him, but he's still got his sword raised over the gift's head. Dino, what would you like to do?
I thought I was enclosed in a cell.
Yeah, but like I said, you're seeing this because there's a little window at each spot where a cell would be. So even when the door isn't accessible, you can still see.
Okay, am I able to tell whether his spell took
Doesn't look like it. The guy's still moving around, and you could see he's pulling his sword up to do a hacking slash down to try to behead the hippo guy.
Okay.
The gif.
Well, then I'm going to cast Bigsby's hand, and he'll just grab him and pick him off the ground so he can't strike the one that's on the ground then.
Okay. So you're trying to grapple this guy with the Bigsby hand?
Yes.
All right. What kind of saving throw do I got?
I'd have to look that up. I don't have... Fantasy Grounds wouldn't let me...
I assume... It's just like a grapple check, so... Alright, you got him. Your hand clenches down and has him grasped. When you have him grappled like this, you can use your bonus action to do a little bit of extra damage. 2d6 plus your spellcasting modifier. Would you like to do that?
I will do that. Nah, I think I'll do the damage.
You'll do the damage, okay. 2d6 plus your charisma. What do you got?
That's going to be 14.
14. Okay, so the Bigsby hand grasps around the Doom Guard and has him grappled. It's going to prevent him from getting his sword attack off on the
No, wait a minute. I was using I think I might have been using the wrong thing. The charisma, just the charisma modifier and the 2d6.
2d6 plus your modifier. Yep.
Oh, because I was looking at the saving throw charisma. No, that's only 9 then.
Okay. Very good. Azad, what would you like to do? So you stepped away. Basically, the Doom Guard was getting ready to decapitate the GIF. Penton tried to cast a hold person that did not work. And then there's a Bigsby hand that's cast by Dino that's got the Doom Guard grasped and is crushing him. And this dog is barking wildly. Looks like it might lunge at Penton if it given the opportunity.
Okay, so so we have non-weapons, but I'm thinking maybe what I would like to do is
what's your passive perception?
20.
20. Okay. You notice that when the GIF went down, there was a blunderbuss that is laying near him that he dropped.
All right. Well, I will Misty Step out of my little cage. And
So you get out into the main chamber now.
yeah, and I will walk over to the blunderbuss and I'm still not. So the GIF is what? Just a guard or the actual colonel guy?
This is the colonel guy. He kind of came with personally to see you guys put away. You guys were kind of high profile, so that's why he felt the need to come here personally.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll point it at you. Then it's just the one guard and the dog, or are there a bunch of others?
Just the one guard and the dog.
So the guard that's being grappled, I'll just kind of like hold the blunderbuss up to his head then. And
Okay,
I'll
like
just wait and be like, can we all just calm down a bit here?
Sounds good. As you do that, Reggie, did I give you? I gave you. Yeah, you tried to dive out. So Reggie's like pincered in between the door. He tried to dive out as the carousel was swinging around. This dog is going to lunge at Penton with its two heads. It tries to make 2 bite attacks.
Your goal
First
is a
one-
13.
First one is a 6, so that one misses. The second one isn't much better. It's a 9. So in this chaos, you're kind of, I don't know. Somehow you're dodging out of the way of this dog, and Azad has got the gun pointed at the guard's head, and he kind of looks at you, Azad, and he says, "Go ahead. You doesn't stop anything. The others will be along soon." And he's kind of struggling. He's gonna try to break free of the Bigsby hand. Aza, would you like to fire that weapon off as he's trying to do that?
I guess I will. I'm imagining this.
They don't even have weapons like this in the player's handbook, do they?
The blunderbuss. No, I think this is like a water deep thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that could be. Go
I'll
ahead
roll
and make a roll. I think you would be not proficient with
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't imagine.
assume.
Would there be any type of dexterity or anything?
Yeah, let's make it a dex check.
Okay,
we're getting some help from getting some help from the audience here. Zombie Joe's saying DMG.
Okay. Well, 18 with the dex bonus included.
Okay, that will hit. Why don't you roll me Why don't you roll me
2d8 piercing
2d8.
sets the audience.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I would say.
4.
All right. So he takes that, and then he makes his check.
As he makes that, I am a diviner, and I have foreseen that he is going to get a 9.
Damn it! I rolled a 20. So he's stuck.
The
looked
point
like-
is awesome.
It looked like he was about to. He was like bending the fingers back. He's about to slip up, but then those fingers just grappled right around his neck again. So he's stuck. Penton, what would you like to do? Is your turn.
Well, I see a very nasty dog. So Penton's going to just start off with a good dog, magic missile.
All right.
And that'll be... Well, he'll test the dog's resilience to magic missile with a first level magic missile.
Sounds good.
And where am I at? Magic missile. 3d4 plus something or other.
+1 for each.
Apologies as I dig out from the pile of d4s here. 2, 4, and 3. 7, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. Math is good.
Big 12. So these missiles go firing off and hits the dog, and you hear it kind of yelp a bit, and then start to growl.
Phantom. Down.
Reggie, you're stuck here, so you'd have to, you could do something else, but otherwise the pressure is still crushing you. So unless you can break free, you're going to continue to take that damage.
I gotta get out of there. I gotta break free.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're the human doorstop right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and wedge myself out if I can, so that I'm in by Penton and the GIF and the other stuff.
This is going to be a DC 20 Strength Athletics check.
All right. 9.
19 points of bludgeoning damage. As it's continuing to wedge itself, and you feel your ribs kind of cracking a bit. Let's see. Dino, what would you like to do? You got the hand around the one guard there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna Misty Step. Wait a minute. Who's got the keys to this cell? Who can let me out?
There is no key.
There is no key?
The way that you get into a cell is from the turning of the room. There's one doorway. And so the person that's got the key is the guy on the outside that's got the control.
Oh. Well, then I'm going to Misty Step out of my cell.
Okay. So you're out. You use your bonus action to get out into the main chamber.
I don't know if that was a bonus action or not. Is
I
Misty
think
Step
it is.
Oh.
So what else would you like to do?
Well, can I squeeze a little bit more on that guard?
No, because that uses a bonus action.
Ah.
But if you perhaps have a cantrip that you'd like to cast, or make a... You don't have any weapons, so you can't really make a weapon attack so easy, but...
Well, I'd like to call to the rest of the group. What can we do to get out of this place now that we've set these things in motion, or we're forced to? We're going to be in. We're going to have to make a jailbreak, I think.
It would be
Okay.
advantageous for you to save the GIF.
So you have your
You-
bit of questioning to the group.
You do realize that you have already broken the law by trying to cast a spell.
So Dino's in the midst of his battle is trying to lecture you about the law. And then it's Cesar's turn.
You're going to be wanted just like the rest of us.
So wait, is the guard isn't dead yet, right?
No, he's being held by
I'm like,
Dino's
Dino,
hand.
one fucking thing at a time, buddy.
Okay, but I'm just saying that our representative is now going to be in the jail with us.
Yeah, he's about to be eaten by the two-headed dog.
We also have the colonel of the jail on the floor that we're saving. He'll let us out. I look at this blunderbuss and how pathetic the damage was, and I toss it to the ground and I try to wrestle this other guy's sword away from him.
Okay, make a grapple check.
Strength athletics.
Or strength athletics, yeah, sorry.
Okay, no problem. I just was 25.
Yeah, no problem. He's tied up. He's trying to hang on to it with just his hands, but he can't get any leverage, so you wrest it away from him.
Okay, is it a what kind of sword is it?
It's a great sword.
Okay, I am proficient in martial weapons, so I should be able to use that.
All right.
But that'll be my next turn, right?
Yeah.
That's-
The colonel is has backed himself up against the wall there, and he's reaching into his pocket, and he's got this grenade that he's just pulled the pin on, and he throws it into the middle of the room, and it explodes, and it's going to affect, I think, everyone except for Reggie. Make me I think it's a Dex saving throw.
Eight.
16.
Okay, you save.
20.
Okay, the two of you save. Penton, you do not. Penton, you take 20 points. You other two take 10. And then it is the Doomguard's turn. He's still struggling to try to get out of the grasp of the Bigsby hand. No luck. The dog, however... Oh, the dog needs to make that same save. And fails. What did I say? 20 points was the full. The dog yelps. But it's still alive, and it chases after Penton. It's going to take its 2 attacks. 9. 12.
Yeah.
Wow. So this death dog, is not very aptly named.
Penton is just running around the room in circles.
Penton, is your turn. As you're running away, you just got hit by this frag grenade.
Those lawyers, they're hard to nail down.
Slippery. So Reggie's the one who's stuck in the door right now, right?
Yeah, yep.
Reggie, my recommendation to you is to accept my assistance. And he reaches down and grabs Reggie's head and then casts Polymorph and transforms him, if Reggie allows it, into a giant snake. Then pulls and throws him at the dog.
Hell yeah!
Make I think it can either be a strength athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Neither of those are amazing for me, but I'll go with this strength athletics check. No, I'll go with the acrobatics check. Let's make that an acrobatic event. Maybe a tumble as I pull and throw the snake, and a 12 plus 3, 15?
15 is good. So you do exactly what you intended to do. And anything else from Penton on your turn?
No, that's quite enough for Penton.
Okay, and you were hurling the snake at the dog.
At the two-headed dog.
Okay, Reggie, it is your turn. You're a snake, and you're flying towards this dog.
Um, I what do I want to do? I want to have my mouth open and like bite onto its neck, and take my momentum and kind of like flip over so that my body is away from his mouth. Does that make sense? Like bite, flip.
Okay. What kind of snake was this?
I went for just the biggest snake that I could manage with him, which I think
biggest
is a
snake.
giant
Maybe.
snake.
Giant constrictor snake?
Giant constrictor seems
Give
reasonable.
me a d20.
18.
18 plus 6. You hit. Roll 2d6 plus 4 damage.
8.
All right, your bite snaps down onto the neck of one of the heads of the dog and like cleaves like right through its muscle tissue and rends the neck, and so it's like the head just flops over. It's only got half a neck as you flip over. The thing goes down. And
Do I
drops.
get my second attack?
I think this creature only has one attack.
Okay.
But you still have movement. You can slither.
Yeah, I'd like to slither away, kind of get as much distance as I can away from whatever.
Okay. Fortunately, the dog is no longer a threat, but you can slither away to the perimeter of the room. And then Dino, it is your turn.
I would like to use my bonus action with my Bigsby's hand clenching this guy and smash him into the dog.
Okay. You understand the dog is dead, right? It's down.
Oh, I thought only the one head was dead.
Oh no, sorry. He bit the one head, and that was enough. There's blood loss. It's
Oh,
down. It's-
okay. All right.
It was a whole
in that
thing.
case. What condition is the guy who threw the grenade? Is he still looking at us as enemies?
I don't think he ever did. I mean,
He threw a
what does
grenade
Dino
in the
think
middle
is
of
happening
us.
right now? This is
Huh?
gonna be a Modron situation all over again. He just like threw a grenade in the center of the room because he was about to die and he's confused.
Well, I would like to try to calm him down so
Okay.
that
Yeah.
that let him know that we are out to save him. You know.
Okay. And you were doing this with your words, or
Yes.
okay? Make a persuasion check.
I think you should do it with an interpretive dance.
I don't dance very good.
Oh.
Some might say that's even better.
I was having flashbacks to the, hey, do you want to kill these Modrons in your area of effect spell too? You don't have to. Yeah, why not?
Let's see, what does Gizmo say? Gizmo looks a little frowny. Just do it.
Just do it anyway.
Persuasion, it would be 19,
Okay.
which is actually a rather low roll for me.
He says, "Oh, look! I will get you out of here. No problem. Just get rid of that thing. I'll even give you your turtle back."
You will? Oh, great!
Yeah, he's got it. Get him. That one that's running around the room.
Yeah, he's our representative. He'll give it back to me.
Yes. Quiet. All right.
We love you, guy.
So I think it's fair to say, okay, Azar, what would you like to do on your turn? You see this?
So the guy is still grappled in the Bigsby hand, right?
Yep.
took his sword.
What are you gonna do about this guy who stabbed you?
They're all just like sitting there, and
Kill
I'm
him!
like, Dino asks the guy what he's gonna do about it, and I'm just like, like leveling the sword down on his head as he's asking him that.
Well, he says, as you're about to like level the sword, he says, "Wait! He's got a point. He's got a point. He needs to go through a trial."
Can you open up one of these cells? We'll throw him in.
Oh, okay. I think that's fair, but unfortunately, I think the guy out the outside is also probably one of them.
Oh.
All right, so we help you get out of this mess. Wait, am I able to talk as a snake? Is that a thing?
No.
Damn it! Psst, 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 psst.
Oh, real funny. Yeah, everyone says hippos are afraid of snakes. Is this a joke? I'm not a hippo anyway. I'm a GIF.
I guess I have stopped this sword like inches away from his head with that 27 to hit I was about to roll.
Yeah.
And I will like look at the grappled guy and be like, how many of your friends are outside? Don't lie to me, I'll know.
If things went according to plan, there are just under 100.
Under 100 of your people? That's
I knew
How
that
much
that
of your
execution
100?
was going to happen today.
and you
Rallied
wanted
our people in the square.
the execution of that other guy, or the one that we saw get killed, or
Yes.
Hey, Penton, are you still running, or is he still run? Are you still running around?
No, he stops running once the dog falls over dead, and then he just sort of casually walks over and takes a bit of his staff and just puts it in between the turning doors so it can't make its full revolution, and we can't get to the bad guys.
And as you do that, it stops, like the door stops, and you see Hulister in the cell.
And he also stops concentrating on the snake, restoring Reggie to his normal form.
So Reggie returned back, and you can see that there's, this kind of frumpy looking guy with the beet red face and the big bulbous nose. Had kind of a receding hair thing going on, and he looks out at you guys and he says, "Hey, aren't you the guys that you got me hooked up with that hot date
Yeah.
with Rayanne?"
We hear it went really well. Aside from the whole arrest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Turns
really
out-
scoring points. I hope you know that.
Yeah. Seems that she thinks I'm some kind of charming with my plant talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know you were an apothecary or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just a gardener.
Horticulturist.
Horticulturist.
I got busted because of you guys. I mean, it's hard to be mad at you because, you kind of made my dreams come true there for about 90 minutes or so. But then apparently you guys have some kind of a ring.
No
Oh.
ring.
No ring.
That's not us. Sorry, man.
So,
but
yeah.
wait,
They're falsely accused.
How'd you get busted for a ring even if we had it? Why would they arrest you?
They heard that I was the last one that talked to y'alls before you disappeared.
But we have a lawyer now. He might be able to help you.
Yeah, a lot of good the lawyers do.
Penton, were you ever representing our good friend Hulister?
No, unfortunately, his representation was taken on by the entire guild prior to my being able to get him to sign the appropriate documentation, which you were so wise to have already signed. Hulister, if you would like, I could petition to become your representative. However, that could take 6 to 8 weeks, whereas your execution is scheduled for slightly less.
Yeah. This is all the same talk I got from the other two.
Oh.
The public defender, he was no good.
Well, we have the colonel of this institution here, and we have a guy that tried to kill him. But more importantly, we definitely have questions for you, so we're definitely not leaving without you. So we're gonna bring you with us when we blow this popsicle stand.
All right. Well, get me out of here. Well, I guess.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he can freely walk out because he stopped the
Right,
thing.
yeah. Come on over.
But,
Come on.
but then he's like, okay, now what?
Right, that's what we wanted Reggie back from snake form for. Reggie?
And Benton?
Of course. Now, if you would just sign here and here and here and here and here and here and here, and he presents paperwork to both the GIF and to Hulister, this will be for the extradition of a prisoner into our safekeeping, so we might escort him to a safe location, and yourself as well, and then return in due time for the... And then by the time...
You're not getting
Leopold-
writer's cramp, are you?
Leopold Knox III signs it. He just wants to be out of this mess, and hearing that there's some kind of a riot happening outside, he's getting a little nervous. And Hulister has signed papers like this quite a bit, so he has no problem doing it.
Excellent.
Where would we go to get our weapons back before we face a horde of angry Aether cultist people?
Well, it seems like we're stuck in here.
Stuck in the prison cell thing with the revolving...
Well,
Innards
the guy
or outers?
with the controls is on the outside, right?
Yep.
So how are we going to get out?
Well, just tell him to let us out. You're his boss, right?
Nah, he's another Aether dude.
Oh, the other Aether dude's in control.
So you're the warden of this place, is that right? Is that the proper title?
Oh, you're talking. Okay, you're talking to
To
Leopold
the
Knox.
servant leader in training.
He says, "Well, I suspect that the guy on the outside was one of them Doomguard that just tried to assassinate me. So he's not going to listen to me, is he?"
Certainly not. However, I would imagine. How long have you been here? Good 30-odd years.
About that.
Okay, so in your decades of service, noble service, I might add, have you never ever had any kind of an instance where you might have some kind of an inkling how one might get out of this room without using the controls?
Well, I happen to know that the machinery that works this turnstile here is just under our feet. So perhaps we could try to find some loose stones and see if we could get out through the ductwork, as they say.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
a thought. What
But-
about? Go ahead, Azan.
Okay, if we want to get out through the ductwork, that would just get us into the rest of the building, right? So we could still get our stuff,
That could work.
and then we could find a secret way out the back where we don't have to face the rest of these. What are we calling this little faction of traitors here? Durguards, Death Guards.
Yeah, there's a couple of different factions, and if we'd had more time to the end of our story, I would have introduced them and fleshed them out a bit. But basically, the Doomguard faction, which just tried to attempted to assassinate this warden, they're all about entropy and seeing the decay of things. They find pleasure and glorify that. But then the Aethar are the ones that are like locked up here that Hulister seems to be associated with. That's the faction that I think you had met one of them before, but they're the ones that believe that the gods aren't so special. That the gods are just really powerful beings that can be killed. And so for many, many years, there was like a splinter group that was trying to kill a god to prove their theory. And now it seems that since some gods have been dying, they're a pretty easy scapegoat to pin a lot of this stuff on. And some of them were even falsely claiming that they were responsible, even though you guys know that they're not, that they're full of shit.
Yep.
Is Raimi No in that camp? Because he doesn't really put too much in to gods. He thinks they're just...
Yeah, maybe he was probably one of the Aethar. He was probably the one that told you all about that.
Okay. Azot, does your invisible mage hand allow you to kind of hit controls even if you can't see them, or do you have to have sight?
I don't know. I bet you we have a diviner with us, right? So, like, I could put my mage hand out there, and he could, like, direct me with some sort of clairvoyancy. Seeing onto the other side of the wall or something.
Okay. That way we could get this thing rotated, get out.
Yeah. You able to do that sort of thing, Penton?
I would be delighted to assist you in that fashion.
There we go. Look at this.
Now,
In
the
fact-
only real problem is that my mage hand is invisible, so that would make it really hard for you to tell me where it is in relation to the other things. So maybe that won't work.
One moment. A thing has occurred to me, but I'm not sure.
So I just had a thought. Did we ever get the backstory piece that was purchased earlier?
We did.
What was it?
It seems that Penton has a bit of a history, and he is being hunted by Zinglebert Bembledeck. Zinglebert Bembledeck, who is an expert hunter-tracker, but horribly illiterate. So as Bembledeck bumbles his way across the multiverse in pursuit of Penton, he has yet to find him. For Penton lives in an enormous pile of paperwork. And so whenever Bembledack draws near, he throws up a great cascade of paperwork, and Zinglebert must spend weeks, if not months, decoding it before he can continue on his way. Perhaps.
Nice.
However, we could certainly take advantage of my arcane eye to scout the area and give instructions. And perhaps if your hand were to carry a small object, I could see where the hand was until that object was dropped and the gears were taken and thrown.
Hmm.
Brilliant. I will pick up a small rock with my invisible hand and navigate it out into that, through the crack into that hallway.
Okay.
And my invisible eye accompanies his invisible hand in perhaps the creepiest disembodied set since the subscriber games.
Thankfully, they're invisible, so it doesn't creep everyone out too much.
Okay. And what were you trying to do with this then?
Pull the levers to rotate the room?
Okay, get the room. So we're gonna say that this works, and you get yourself freed. You get the door aligned with the hallway that would let you exit the prison turnstile, and you just hear like the sounds of chaos. Imagine like the sounds of like a prison riot. Essentially, a bunch of Doomguard have infiltrated the prison. They're trying to free the Aether, who they feel an affinity for. They believe that the Aether are actually involved with killing the gods, and they want to see more of that happening. And so that is their reason for being here, and why they have kind of orchestrated this jailbreak, so to speak.
All right, come on, Colonel. Come on, Penton. Come on, Hulister.
So
Is
you
there-
all are headed to where your weapons are, and because of the fact that you got Leopold Knox with you, he can navigate you that way. But you got the challenge of trying to do so, unobstructed by encounters with Doomguard.
As they're making way along, Penton draws alongside Dino. Dino, here is your turtle. Boop. Turtle.
Thanks. I was worried about him. Did you treat him well?
Oh yes, for the short time that we were together, I cared for him like he was my own son. I don't have a son, so I'm not sure entirely how that would comfort you, but there's your comfort. Enjoy.
Okay.
Upteo seems eager to get back into your backpack.
How'd you get treated? Was he okay?
It was fine, Dino. We're in a prison. There's only so much that he could do.
Okay. That's good.
Let us get out of here.
We're working on it.
So, how would you like to try to avoid dealing with the Doomguard to get to your stuff?
Me?
Oh, just the group in general. Are you sneaking there? Are you trying to describe to me what that looks like, or if you've got powers that allow you to, avoid such things?
All right,
I am going to cast Mislead.
Mislead.
Yes. So I will become invisible while I have an illusionary double that appears, and the double can actually move very fast.
Okay. So you're gonna use your double to if you get into some trouble, your double's gonna distract them or
Yeah, lead them away from us, perhaps. And the double can move twice as fast as I can, so the double should be able to stay ahead of whatever trouble is after that.
Okay, I think that works. How about the rest of you?
I think I'll follow behind. If he's misleading things, I think I might cast Pass Without Trace and let the group try to stay close to me in the shadows
Okay,
as we sneak from place to place.
that will work. So you got a couple of things working in tandem. You get to where you need to go to get the armory where all your stuff is, and you get it all back. And using these spells, you'll be able to get out of the prison. And where would you like to head? And actually, Leopold Knox is going to stay close to you guys because basically all of the Mercy Killers, his faction that man the prison, they're overrun, and so he's in danger if he stays there.
Well, Hulister, you know any good safe houses or anything?
One
Maybe
moment before you discuss your plans. And he walks around to each of them and just sort of taps them on the forehead and casts his Rary's telepathic bond so that everyone can communicate silently with one another without being overheard.
Okay.
Quickly, and across
So-
any amount of distance.
Nice.
So, given this ability that you've just awakened in everybody, Hulister says, "Well, there's a good bar 3 blocks away. It's called the Red Inn. That's where I
Sounds
go."
good. Let's do that.
And along the way, he's saying, "So, you guys said you were looking for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did
No,
you mean by that?"
We are trying to find some information, and you are the closest thing to a informant that we thought we would have. We are looking for a drow named Arehi, who is in the Vault of Drow somewhere. And I had further notes on this, but they disappeared
Vault
when
of
Fantasy
Drow?
Grounds crashed.
What the hell do you want with that? Why would you want to go to such a place?
We need to go there and either interrogate or kill this drow, Arehi.
A lot of my business contacts are wrapped up in that place. You want to go and kill one of them? Better be a damn good reason.
Or what now? Your business contacts are what?
You better have a good reason for wanting to do this.
Prevent the end of the world?
What he said. You'll have to take our word for it.
The
But
end of the
it's-
world.
Yes. Okay, well, you, Hugh Lister, are an Aether, right?
That's right.
And you believe that gods are fallible,
I do.
but would you also believe that they are sort of what balances out evil and good?
I think they're just like you and me. They just amassed a bunch of power and got a bunch of blockheads believing that they're gods.
Yeah, so what do you think about, like, demon princes? Would you rather the gods be there doing their thing, or would you rather demon princes be there doing their thing?
I don't think it's an either or. Everyone just does their thing. It's just how are they able to manipulate others into believing what they are. Demon princes, it's the same thing. They just convinced a bunch of lower beings that they're in charge. Why couldn't it be you or me?
Well, it probably could be. But the fact is that there is something killing the gods, and it's not your splinter sect.
Well, what is it?
Reggie? I look over at Reggie for, like, whether he approves telling this. It's Orcus. The demon prince of death. You know? Big
Okay.
badass motherfucker.
So what does this have to do with the drow?
Well, the drow knows where the wand of Orcus is. And if Orcus gets his wand back, he and Asarak will most undoubtedly destroy pretty much the world. Which Asarak was trying to do before, but Reggie stopped them.
With help.
With some help, yeah, but mostly Reggie.
All right. Well, I like you guys. You've done me a solid twice now, so I'm going to tell you what you need to know. And as you're having this conversation, you all disappear. You're teleported off the street, and you find yourselves actually right back in an area that looks very similar to Petitioner Square, but now everything is like grayscale. You're in Sigil yet. You're seeing the buildings of Sigil all around the square. But you're before a 15-foot tall figure. A figure that is vaguely feminine, wearing robes, and she has a stone face that is wreathed in these, like, rusty blades. And she is staring down at you, motionless and silent. And she seems to be waiting for you to make the first move.
Would we recognize her from anything to this point?
I think you have heard some talk of the Lady of Pain from other people in Sigil who do not worship her, but they say that she is the one that is in control of things in Sigil. She's the one that allows portals to work, open, close. She's someone that is feared but not revered.
Penton draws forth the first scroll that's ever given to a Magister and the last scroll they ever want to open. Stamp?
Nothing
not
but
sure what that
silence.
Bulls, I recommend being very careful what you say right now. She is in charge of everything.
Is she considered a god?
Don't ask that out loud.
I,
We're
I,
still
I'm,
in our heads,
I'm,
right?
I'm not.
You're, as a player, asking that.
Yes.
Make a religion check. And I'll let you make it an advantage because you were from Sigil.
$12.
You don't know of anyone that's ever worshipped her. People generally try not to talk about her if they can help it.
I was just trying to determine what sort of being she is. So, if she's not a god, then she's got to be an extremely powerful being.
Telepathically, I'd like kind of shooting this thought out. If we can share that we want to try and bring order back to Sigil, knowing that there's been a lot of unrest. Part of what we're trying to achieve would bring less disturbance to her community.
All right.
That might be something that she would be positively responding to.
I will just step forward and say, Lady, we're looking for safe passage to the Vault of the Drow. We mean only to bring peace back to Sigil.
You see, as you speak, two of the debus, these kind of floating, kind of cotton-haired creatures. They kind of have, they're almost, I don't know, to me they kind of look almost Dr. Seuss-like in their facial expressions, but they're robed little things. They're said to be like the servants of the lady. And you've seen them before because they don't talk, but they seem to like conjure up like letters. And so speech kind of visually unfolds before you. And they are speaking for the lady as they whisk their hands about. And the letters that appear say, the gods are dying and chaos has taken control of my, and the my is like underlined 3 times, city.
Let
And
us
then-
help you.
Yeah, it says, you know something.
We do.
You will end this threat.
We will.
And then the letters say, but you speak too freely. And then you see the Lady of Pain point at Hulister. And the words say, tell them what they need to know. And Hulister says, I will. Of course, my friends. I know a person I arrange for supplies to get delivered there to the Vault of the Drow, where this guy, this Rehi, you say? Yeah, well, I have a contact. She's at the gate town of Plaguemort in the Outlands. You've been there. You've crossed the Outlands before, right? When you went to that to meet the Githzerai to get your ring. Well, there's another gate town that leads to the Abyss. So you'll meet with she's a Barriar. Her name's Quavois Faithminder. There's some kind of civil war or something there happening in the Vault of the Drow. And that's why they have all these weapons going that way. So I'm sure, you know, if you need a way in, you could pose as guards. You could work on the caravan. You get in. You'd look like any of her guards. There'd be no problem.
That's what we'll do.
Yes, if you will allow us, lady.
I'm sorry, I didn't. My Discord kind of blipped out. What was that?
Yes, we'll go if you will. Is no one able to hear me?
I hear you.
We can hear you.
I think it caught up, so now I'm hearing you.
Are we still without our weapons?
No, you went.
No, we got them back.
What?
Sorry, Joe.
Pardon?
I couldn't hear what you were saying. I had kind of some lag.
We will go if the lady will allow us.
And she says, "You three, I will allow." And then she looks at Hulister again. She says, "Is there any?" Or she isn't. She's not speaking, but the bus is sending up these like letters, and they say, "Is there anything more that they need?" And Hulister is like kind of looking at you guys. He looks pretty worried, and he shakes his head no. And then suddenly you see his head like get ripped off and like falls to the ground, and his body like slumps down.
Oh God.
And then she points at
Penton?
Penton, and the words say, "What good are you?"
The lawyer will come up with a good story. I know it.
Why do they need you?
You know, that is an interesting question. As you may be aware, several of the laws of your own city do dictate that they be escorted by a member of the court, which I am, and several documents to that effect have been made available. This will ease their journey through your city, as well as through the myriad challenges that lay ahead. I will support them to the best of my ability, for I am very fond of having my head attached to my neck and my neck to my shoulders, and I have seen you demonstrate your ability to remove that. Therefore, they have my full and unconditional, unwavering, and incredible support. Plus, you may have noticed I am a diviner, and I have foreseen they will need my assistance.
This is gonna be like the biggest persuasion check of all time. Has our bit boss given out his inspiration yet this session?
If I could, I'd like to give a bardic inspiration.
Okay, you can do that. What does he get to roll now?
A D12.
Oh, D12.
D12.
All right,
Wow.
Winston says the bit boss has declared you get your inspiration for this.
Bit boss, what?
We have a...
The new thing is if you're the bit boss, you can hand out a point of inspiration each session.
Oh wow,
And Winston
So-
is the bit boss currently.
nice.
So 2d20 and a d12 at the moment.
Let's see how we can fail this.
Let's see how we can fail this. All right. 5 on the d12, so I got a 22 to start with. And then I get to add a little bit because I am a lawyer and lawyers are persuasive. And that is hiding from me. Please be a high number. 8 to that, so a 30.
A 30. Well,
30.
I guess. Yeah, so you give your pitch, you've got the paperwork, and if she could smirk and be amused, she probably would. But the Lady of Pain is not known for that, and so you just see like a ... kind of show up, and then it says, "Very well." And then the boss is waving its hands around one more time, and it says, "Do you have anything more for me?" And in silence, the
Thank
fear
you.
is thick. She raises both of her hands, and suddenly you find yourselves teleported. You feel yourselves teleported and gone. And when you reappear, you are not in Sigil, but you will be in Plaguemort. She will have teleported you directly there, so that you don't have to trek across the Outlands to get there. And our next session will pick up with you presumably trying to get on this caravan and taking a journey down the River Styx.
Where was the name of that we were at?
Plaguemort. Plaguemort is a gate town, so this is your access point to get into the abyss. So, and just in case anyone is wondering, it's not there's no plot hole here. Yes, she could probably just snap them into the Vault of the Drow, but then they would have no alibi. They'd have no reason to be there, so they got to take the journey. So,
Like you thought about that.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought long and hard about it too, because I was like, well, maybe she'll do that. And then I was like, well, that don't make any sense. And they'll pop up with all these drow and have no reason to be there, and that
What's up,
won't be
guys?
good. Yeah, that won't be good.
But we have paperwork.
I don't know. Are the drow, do they got a lot of paperwork? Do they fill out a lot of forms? I'm not sure.
I don't know how the Planescape drow work, but there's not much paperwork in Menzoberranzan.
Yeah. Well, what'd you guys think?
That was really fun.
Fantastic.
Good time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
I wasn't really sure which way this one would go, because I don't know. It could have gone any which way, but it was kind of fun to do a little prison thing and give you a taste of the politics in Sigil, because you've been hearing about all the dead gods like out in the field, but to kind of see that there's this big uproar in Sigil about what's going on with the gods, and seeing, just like, a terrorist attack or something, to see some group that has nothing to do with it taking responsibility for it, wanting to take the glory for it, and all sorts of fun stuff in Sigil with that. Oh, Winston, thanks for the cheer. He's been waiting for the Lady of Pain to show up, and I kind of thought maybe people wanted to see something like that at some point. But yes, we're taking the game to the abyss. So Next time that this game will be live will be 2 weeks from now, which, wow, taking us into May. So May 8th at 7 p.m. will be our next Planescape Dead Gods game. Next time that we will be live will be on Saturday at noon for our subscriber game. If you have not yet had a chance to subscribe to the channel, I encourage you to do so, because if you do, you get to sign up for games each month to play with